I want to start with a confession. I actually like data, or more honestly, I have a love-hate relationship with data. I know that's probably not the most exciting way to start a podcast, but it's true. Welcome to One Tired Teacher. I'm Trina Debery, and today we're going to talk about what data can't measure, the most important things teachers know that can't be measured. This is episode 304. Let's get started. Yes, I like data. I like information. I look for patterns. I like understanding what's working and what isn't. Data can be helpful. Test scores can tell us things. Assessments can tell us things. Observations can tell us things. Even AI can help us identify patterns we might otherwise miss. The problem isn't that data exists. The problem is when we start believing data tells the whole entire story, and we know it doesn't. That's what upsets me. That's where I have the hate part of the relationship. That is why I get so angry about all the testing, because we aren't looking at the whole story. We're looking at part of it. We have to be careful not to believe that data is giving us all the information or telling the whole entire story truthfully, because it doesn't. It never has. Some of the most important things a teacher knows will never appear on a spreadsheet. They won't show up on a dashboard, they won't appear in a testing report, and they certainly won't be captured by artificial intelligence. Let me tell you what I mean. A test score can tell me whether a child answered a question correctly. It cannot tell me that this was the first time that child has felt confident enough to try. A data dashboard can tell me a student's reading level, but it cannot tell me that they finally found a book that they love. AI can analyze patterns. It cannot tell me that a child walked into my classroom carrying something heavy that day and needed a little extra kindness. Those things matter. In fact, I would argue that those things are often the reason learning happens in the first place, or doesn't. One of the things I loved most about teaching was watching children change, not just academically, humanly. The shy child who finally found their voice, the student who learns to work with others, the reluctant reader who starts recommending books to friends, the child who begins believing that they are capable. Those moments don't fit neatly into a chart, but they're real and they're important. And sometimes I think we forget that, especially in education. We spend so much time measuring what is easy to measure that sometimes we overlook what is meaningful. Words per minute? Who cares? A child loves to read? Now that matters. That will drive them forward. That will inspire them to keep going. Focusing on what is easy to collect often means we aren't focusing on the most important parts. And I understand why. Schools are under pressure, teachers are under pressure, everyone wants evidence, everybody wants proof, everyone wants numbers. But some of the most important outcomes of education are deeply human. How do you measure belonging? How do you measure curiosity, courage? How do you measure a moment a child finally feels safe enough to make a mistake? Because that's the one I keep coming back to. Safety. None of our data systems can tell us when a child finally feels safe. A test score can't tell me that. An AI report can't tell me that. A spreadsheet can't tell me that. But teachers know. Teachers notice. We see it in body language. We hear it in conversations. We notice it when students take risks they weren't willing to take before. We notice it when they raise their hand, when they share an idea, when they ask a question, when they stop trying to disappear or go to the bathroom 20 times a day. Those are the things that good teachers know, and those things matter. A few weeks ago, I talked about AI and teacher judgment. Teaching has never been about information alone. It's about judgment. And I think this is another example of that, because good teaching isn't just knowing what the data says. It's knowing what the data doesn't say. It's holding both, the information and the humanity, the numbers and the story. the score, and the child. That's where teacher expertise lives, not in ignoring data, but in understanding its limits. The longer I worked in education, the more I realized that children are not data points. They're people. They're messy, wonderful, complicated people. And our job isn't simply to move numbers. Our job is to help human beings grow. That's why I remain hopeful about the future. Because no matter how advanced technology becomes, a child or children will still need adults who notice them, adults who believe in them, adults who help them feel safe enough to learn. And that is something no dashboard can measure. Before you go, I want to leave you with this. Some of the most important work you do every day may never show up in a report. It may go unnoticed during an observation. That doesn't make it less valuable. That actually makes it more. Because the things that matter most in education have always happened between people. And if you're a teacher who notices those things, thank you. The world needs more of it. Until next time, sweet dreams and sleep tight. And don't forget to leave a comment, like and share, and join me every week. Bye for now.